Everybody wants to get rid of the winter chills, and we'll show you just how easy it is to make that decision today. Do I want a built-in fireplace? Do I want a portable guy? Or do I want something that can be a bra and a fireplace, which I can enjoy? We at Builders have all the needs for you. We'll cover it all, whether it's a small little guy or a big kahuna like this. Get on down to your local Builders and they'll help solve your problems. So one of the things that I've always wanted when I grew up, I said one day when I'm big, I want to have an awesome fireplace in my home. And it often gets to the point when winter arrives and we say, well, what should we get? Should we be getting a little portable guy? Should we put in a fireplace, or should we be going for gas? And it really is quite a dilemma. So in today's clip, we're going to try and show you what the pros and cons are, how to break it down, and how to make your choices much simpler. And we're going to start off with the traditional wood fire. So how do we get to decide whether we want a wood fire? Well, let's take a look at what the pros are. Number one, the atmosphere is amazing. You really can't beat it. Atmosphere is fantastic. The crackling, sitting around it, nice and snug, maybe with a glass of your favorite whatever, and just hanging out with the family. Of course, there are the safety issues. You might be thinking, well, what about I've got a raging fire here? Very simply, we'll show you once we've lit this that you put a grid in front of it, which makes it completely safe and very child-proof as well. Really difficult for a child to be able to get that off. The other thing is that, of course, the ambient heat. The ambient heat from a wood fire is most fantastic, and it really does just penetrate and ooze right through the house. In terms of the wood one, people always say to me, what about all the ash and the mess? Well, here's the thing. Once you've burnt a whole pile of logs, say that weigh 10 kgs, you're probably left with 10% left of ash. 10% is not a lot. It's probably working out to 1 kg of ash. And of course, what do you do with that ash? Well, if you're lighting a fire every night, all you need to do is once a week be able to clean it out. And they've really designed these guys to make it pretty simple. There's a tray at the bottom. So all you do, pull out the tray. You can sweep it up just with a dustpan or use one of those little electric hoover guys, and then your fireplace is simply clean. So let's get down to what else can we do with this baby. Well, number one, what I love is the whole process of lighting. Safe, simple, easy. Let's get to it and show you how it's done. So they make starting fires really easy today. You didn't have to go to Scouts or Cubs to learn how to do it. You get awesome little fire lighters, which you can simply pop into the grid. A couple of important things to think about. Number one, has your flue been opened completely? And in all your wood-burning fireplaces, you will find that there's a lever like this. This lever can get moved, pushed further away from you, which closes your flue and controls the amount of literally air that has been pulling through your flue. Pulling it this way opens it up full, you get a bigger, more fuller fire. And that's really your only adjustment that you need to worry about, nothing else. Then, in terms of lighting, well, you can get cool little gadgets like this, or you can get some beasts like this, which I much prefer, which really do make lighting much easier. Now, fires need air. It needs air to be able to breathe. And one of the biggest mistakes we make is by packing on as much wood as we can so that we can have a really big fire. Remember, biggest is not always best. So all I do is, I have a very simple way of doing it. We take smaller, thinner pieces of wood and we create just a little stack with it. 2 on the base, above it, and above it, and another one. And you can continue to build this as high as you require. But before you carry on building all the way to the top, light the little guy first. And here we go, really simple. Light up this baby, and this whole little guy can go right in here. Start up the fire lighters, and literally your job is done. Wait for it to take, and as you find the lower levels of wood starting to take, you can then continue the same system of piling up. What I love about this is that it's relatively safe, because as the wood starts burning, it's not going to fall outwards, because that often happens. You stack a fire and all of a sudden one log kind of falls over and you think, well, where on earth did that come from? With this method of stacking that way, this way, this way, when the wood does fall, it falls inwards. and makes it far safer for everyone in and around and for whoever's been building the fire. Once you've done that, and this guy is starting to burn, you can then take your bigger logs and then start adding them to it once it's imploded. But I want to show you how that's done, so let's get this baby going a bit. Couple of important things to consider when you are going for an ordinary fireplace with wood burning is that A, always consider when you're designing, where are you going to store your wood? Are you going to be storing it on the side, or are you going to be simply getting a big pail where you can keep it in? Things to remember because they really do add to the finishing touches of your final product. Now that the fire is roaring, I'm feeling a bit warm, I can imagine just hanging out here for most of the day. Here's the other option. What if I wanted gas? So let's take a look at it. With gas, there are a few important things to remember. A, that you need to get a proper gas installer to be able to put that in, because there are safety regulations in terms of where the gas bottle sits in relation to your actual fire. How is it housed? Is it within an enclosed cage? Does it have a lock on it? And those you really do need to get a proper gas installer to come and do that. The other thing that you need to think of is never let the gas run out. Very important. So it's always better to have two with a valve that simply switches across so that when the one runs out, it's a flick of a switch and your gas will continue. With gas fireplaces, of course, you don't need to buy the wood. You don't need to worry about the mess of the ash that you need to clean up, and literally your heat is instant. Flick a switch, bang, on it comes, and away you go. Somehow you need to decide at the end of the day, what is the look that you're wanting? Are you wanting the ambient warmth of a crackling fire, which is live and combustible, or are you willing to have something that works on gas where the flames are consistent, you can control the height, and of course the temperature. And of course that also is determined by the style of your home. Something more rustic, more earthy, or more contemporary, stainless steel, slick, some white pumice stones, that gives you the final feel of your gas fireplace. And of course, there are other options, the quick fixes. And this is where if you're living in a townhouse or you've got a really limited space, or maybe it's not even your home and you're renting, what is the point then of going and installing a fireplace which you need to leave behind? And these are the little gadgets that work. And let me tell you, as small as it seems, it packs a punch. So these little guys you can collect and get them from your local builders. There are many different suppliers and all equally as good. And the great thing is it's lightweight, easy to move around because look, it comes on wheels. Fantastic. So if Granny's visiting, move it right up. For the less that need the heat, you can pull it away. Whether it's on your patio or indoors, incredibly safe. And let's talk a bit about those safety features. Take a look here. It comes with a little chain which literally can attach to the back. So if you're lugging this thing around, there is no chance that this gas bottle is going to fall out. Very important. Always read the instructions, folks. I know we don't like doing it, but please do read the instructions because at the end of the day, they're put there to make our lives safer. A couple of things to consider is that A, wherever you're connecting it with your hose onto your regulator, this is called a regulator, and this controls the amount of gas and a very important part of this whole instrument. Tighten it using a screwdriver, making sure that you've got the right clamps in place. And always check those things before you leave your local builder store. Make sure that you've got the clamp. Make sure that you've got the right gas bottle that will fit in here. It's no use buying a huge 9 kg or 12 kg gas bottle, which then you're going to have to lug around after this thing. So the little things and a bit of planning do go a long way. Just a quick tip to make sure that you've sealed it off really well. One way, take a little bit of soap, could be sunlight soap, anything, make a little paste, pop it round the edges here, turn your gas on and have a look if there are any bubbles. If there are any bubbles, you know obviously that your connection is not secure and you might just need to tighten your hose clamp. Do that wherever you are making attachments. The other thing is with how open do we make this? You know, how many times do we have to turn this, which is the valve that literally lets the gas out? And it's pretty simple. This is how we do it. Any gas bottle, when you open it, 1.5. 1.5, more than enough. You don't need to screw the whole thing open. And remember, there's always little signs on here which show which way to open and which way to close it. So let's get this baby going and show you how easy and convenient it is. So let's turn them around. We've turned our gas on. 1, 2. We've made sure that all our connections are nice and tight and we're good to go. And with all these, they need a little bit of priming. Now down here, you'll see is your flint. Hidden nicely in here. These are ceramic panels. Ceramic panels last an incredibly long time. They really are good. And whenever you're looking at buying one of these little gas heaters, look for the ceramic panel variety. And they've got a safety guard on here, which means that no one is going to get burnt. What you need to do is push your little lever in to allow the gas to simply flow, because that controls your gas. Keep that down for about 10 seconds. Once it's down, simply all you do then is click it to the ignite. Watch down here. You'll see the flame. Hold it down. There we go. You can see the panel is already caught. Let it go, and there our panel is now light. The good thing with this little guy is that you can control the amount of panels that are lit. So if it's just a nippy evening, one panel is more than enough. If we want to go to medium, we just turn this guy to 2, and you'll see very shortly that the second panel, there it is, already catching light. And then if it's really chilly, we go on to high, give it a couple of seconds, and your third ceramic panel is alight already. Beautiful ambient heat. Of course, you're not getting that look. And we can't really compare this guy to this guy over here. But there are the options. Remember, we've got portable, we've got wood burning, or we've got the gas. At the end of the day, it's up to your style and your budget. But remember, the most important thing, that whether it's this, or the slinky gas one, that all of these are available from your local builders, and they've got the solution just for you.